boy Big Baby Miller here. Listen, we knocking on all bums. First it's gonna be Dylan White, if it's gonna be Joseph Parker, but you know who got the story right? Mr. Boxing Today. You check him out. He got all the latest news on the heavyweight division. And if you don't know me, you soon will, because I'm kicking everybody.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, so Joe Joyce pretty much wins the heavyweight performer of the night, volume 2. I started this a few weeks ago. Luis Ortiz was the first and the past winner. Joe Joyce won this in the landslide. 95% of you guys voted for Joe Joyce. And just, I mean, obviously his fight, that fight was the much more significant fight of the weekend. Entertaining fight. Joe Joyce went in there and did what he had to do. You guys can see right here, it's past a few weeks ago when Luis Ortiz got 35% of the vote with his win over Alexander Flores. But as far as the way this fight went, man, Joe Joyce just pretty much took all of Daniel Dubois' best shots, kept coming forward, and the jab. It was pretty much the jab, man. And it's crazy because I called the fight live, and as I'm calling it, I'm like, man, I wish Joyce would come behind the jab with something, because he just wasn't coming behind his jab with a right hand. Usually you set, your right hand up with a jab. And I thought he was doing such a good job, not only creating distance with the jab, but actually just hurting Dubois with the jab, with just blunt force from the jab alone. And I'm like, well, damn, man, if the jab is that good, I guess he doesn't have to come behind it with a right hand. Although I would love to see him, because I thought that Dubois was literally right in line to get hit with a right hand. The way his head was getting snapped back, he wasn't going to see the right hand. But anyways, the jab was enough. It hurt his eye. It, pretty much make Dubois take a knee and say he didn't want no more and quit in the fight. All right, but it's only one fight. There's been a lot of great fighters that have quit in fights. It's how you bounce back and how you respond mentally to a situation like this. And like I said, man, I think his pain threshold pretty much exceeded, because he couldn't take no more. And he felt that Joe Joyce was coming on even stronger. You know what I mean? So, and I think he panicked, being that he had to fight with one eye for the first time in his professional career. I think some panic set in as well. Not only with the pain, some panic set in as well. But he can bounce back from this, man. They say he's going to be out 5 months. But let's give credit to Joe Joyce, not what happened to Dubois, what he couldn't or could do, or could see or couldn't see. Joyce went in there, took his best shots. He kept coming forward, and he kept putting the pressure on the young kid. We joke about how slow Joyce is, but that methodical pace that he fights in, he can keep that. See, it's one thing if you can come out and fight at a much higher, faster pace than him, more activity. But the thing is, he'll keep that one steady pace, but I know he'll keep it all night. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's even better than being a front runner out the gate, coming out quick in the first 5-6 rounds, only to gas out and tire in the back half of the fight. And sometimes it's not good if you come out and give away rounds and then try to turn it up late. He just has that one pace where he's going to come chopping down, taking the best shots from you. But we'll see if this style can hold up for Joe Joyce when he gets in there with guys that even have more power than the Daniel Dubois, and that's a powerful kid himself. You know what I mean? But a lot of those shots that Dubois was landing would have probably knocked out 85-90% of today's heavyweights. You know what I mean? So give Joe Joyce credit for having a chin like this, and just having a chin like this from the amateur days, the World Series of Boxing, all the way up into his professional career, and taking good shots, not only back then from the tough amateurs that he was fighting, but now being in the pro ranks and taking shots like that from a guy who was deemed as, or was looked at prior to this fight, as the next best thing. You know what I mean? So I would like to see what Joyce goes from here. There could be a possibility that the WBO title is dropped. But we'll see what happens with AJ and Pulev first and let that play out. I don't like overlooking fights, but we'll see how that one goes. Maybe if that belt is vacated somehow, some way, him and Usyk can get it on. It'll be a rematch from that World Series of Boxing fight they had, where Usyk was able to dominate Joyce on his movement. I think movement may be able to give Joyce a little bit of problem, but if he can cut the ring off effectively, use his jab to touch you when you're trying to move, and just keep that relentless pressure on you with thudding jabs and thudding overhands, he can create some hell for you, man. There's nothing like being a power puncher, but then somebody that can stand up to you and then put you in the back foot and put you in a pressure situation. Pressure can bust pipes, man. So I want to see more from Joe Joyce, man. Maybe the Usyk situation can happen. I would like to see Joe Joyce in there with enter any heavyweight. I wouldn't mind seeing it. You guys, leave me your thing in the comment section. This is volume 2 of this, man. Had I thought of this about when I made my first video 10 years ago, I would probably be at volume 800 right now with this performer of the night, man. So the next performer of the night will take place December 12th. Just the AJ card alone, you got 3 good fights right there. AJ Pulev. You also got Huey Fury taking on Marius Wach. And then you got Bakole versus Kuzmin, which probably could steal the show when it comes to styles. All right. And there's a few other heavyweight fights taking place that weekend. I'm going to look to see which ones to add to the list. I can only put 5 up here on YouTube for you guys to vote for when I put this poll up. All right. But you guys can think in the comment section. I'm gone.